Afterbuzzers, I got a very important question. Do you have the urge? The urge to purge? That's right, we're talking about episode 3, the urge to purge, right here, so stick around.
You're tuned in to Afterbuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, it's that time of week again.
You know it. You know what it is.
Something's coming. Uh-oh.
But wait.
I'll live.
I'm scared. Should I be scared? Oh, man.
What's gonna happen?
There it is.
Yes.
You see, you gotta be really scared when you hear this coming. You know Mr. Six is right around the corner with his bow tie, with his glasses. Guys,
With a knife.
it's the Purge After Show right here on Afterbuzz TV. It's that time. It's Tuesday night. It's 8 o'clock. Maybe it's 8:30. It's, you know what? Give or take.
Fashionably late.
We're here, better late than never. Guys, my name is Ty Matthews. Y'all can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. Danny Royce is not with us. He will be back here next week. But joining us as always, rounding out the crew to the far left, you can find him on My Hero Academia, all that stuff, Cloak and Dagger. You can find him online at Ollie Dreamer. Pardon me, because he's Ollie Drennan.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
for your wonderful introduction.
Gotta get it right. To Ollie's right, you can also find her on the My Hero Academia show. You can find her online at It's Jaimi Gray because it's Jaimi Gray.
Hey guys.
See how that works?
Works well.
Fantastic. Let's get into it. Get right into it. You see, we're trying to go with a bus theme. Every week, it gets harder and harder to come up with songs that are thematically appropriate for the Purge After Show. But you know what? We're going with a bus motif because guess what? Buses play a big part in this show.
Yeah.
So, if you guys remember the Venga Boys, this video had to happen on a bus.
Nostalgia.
That's the connection we made this week. So let's start with that. Let's start with the bus. Let's start with this cult. I'm pretty sure we still don't have a name for this cult. It makes it very inconvenient to analyze it from a, from an after show point of view. But we'll soldier on, as we are wont to do. But now that Melissa has gone to the invisible,
Yes.
looks like it's Penelope's turn.
Ba, ba, ba.
And we keep getting these kind of flashbacks peppered in where we saw Penelope and Miguel's parents that night taken.
Yeah. Which they did not give themselves to, what did they say? To the purge?
Yep, they did not.
They did not, clearly. But what I'm confused about is Penelope and Miguel saw this firsthand. So why does Penelope maybe she needed to fill some sort of a void and she just joined this group.
Yeah.
Maybe she was lonely.
Yeah, and I think people that are that susceptible to kind of cult ideologies, I think will craft any sort of narrative around it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Tavis definitely got in her head and went like, no, it's for their own
She's
good.
charming.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Don't trust the Tavis.
That's
No.
how
The
they do
blue
it.
crew. I like to call them the blue crew.
I like the blue crew.
The blue crew.
I was
Hashtag
thinking
blue crew?
Blue crew or blue cloaks.
See, blue, there you go.
Blue crew. Blue crew. Let's do that.
Let's get some blue night in
Yeah,
here.
I like
There we go.
the blue lights too.
There we go.
But yeah, it definitely makes me sad because one of the things that their mom told them on the night of the purge when they died was to stick together. That was something that was like her last words to Penelope and Miguel. And clearly that didn't happen with Penelope. And she's so, even after it seems like she's having second thoughts, Penelope, but still, she's still so down to go into the invisible.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Then you see like this smile on her face, and I'm like, well, what happened? When was this shift? But I'm wondering, how did her and Miguel get separated? Maybe it was when he went to the Marines.
Yeah,
Sure.
probably.
Because maybe that's when it's like, so that's you, Miguel. That's on you, Miguel.
So yeah, maybe that's why he feels
had to
this
find
responsibility.
something.
Yeah, maybe he feels responsible for her falling into this.
They probably had to go to foster care, maybe, or who knows, maybe a family member. But that's a whole nother backstory that we would have to figure out how that happened. So
because one of the very last things that their father tells Miguel is you have to protect your sister always.
Yeah.
And so maybe the fact that he went into the Marines. Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe this all happened while he was gone. He wasn't there to keep her, out of trouble. So that's why he's on this whole quest. That's why he'll run the gauntlet.
he's guilt tripping.
Yeah, exactly, and put himself in harm's way.
Yep.
Well, he definitely has the skills to get through tonight so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm rooting for him.
Exactly. We see him talking with Pete at the beginning of the episode at Pete's Cantina. What else? Actually, yeah, these stories are converging quite a bit in this episode. These were before they were kept pretty kind of bespoke, pretty separate from each other. But we got a lot tying this episode in particular into the first Purge, conveniently out on Blu-ray on October 2nd.
Yes.
Weird how that timing works out. But we get the concept of OMF, or Original Martyr Families, the ones that signed up for the original experiment on Staten Island that was portrayed in the first Purge, the ones that kind of started this whole thing. And we saw from the journalist that Miguel met up with in the episode that he's almost kind of revered as a celebrity, you know, like OMFs, you know, there's probably, if this is 10 years after the first Purge, there's probably not many of them left, you know?
Yeah.
So it's interesting seeing that dynamic play out now that we kind of know that that's a thing in this universe.
Yeah, and definitely I like seeing kind of like the things from the movies coming into the television show.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like even like with Rick, Jenna, and Lilo, I feel like we're gonna get some kind of like purging going on into that party
Yeah.
as
For
well.
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that party's gonna go downhill.
Because it's like we see
real
the
quick.
movies,
Dresses.
we know what's about to go down. That party is not going to be all clean and
Nope.
proper.
Not all classy at all.
It's
Like,
only midnight. So.
Yeah, but that's what it's exciting about it too. It's like what more could happen, and I guess that'll lead more into predictions. But there's just a lot of people at this, I guess you could say, purge party,
Sure.
where I'm a little skeptical about. So.
Of course, absolutely. They're wearing those murderer masks for a reason.
Yeah,
Like,
this little
It'd be
masquerade.
so annoying to hold up the entire night.
exactly. Masquerades are not convenient.
I can't have a drink and hold up a mask.
This is why elastic was created. Joel.
Yeah, don't you need like 2 hands to swing an axe?
Right?
Or a bat?
It's inefficient. Inefficient purging is what it is.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So as Miguel is sort of, you know, searching for Penelope, he meets up with Pete. He finds out that they are both ex-Marines, so they kind of have this common bond. Before, Pete was not into the idea of helping him. He did not really care. He said, if I had a heart, it'd be bleeding for you. Just his polite way of saying, go F yourself.
Yeah.
But since they have this kind of common bond, Pete uses these surveillance cameras that he's got set up around town to kind of help Miguel search for that bus. You know, so what do you guys think about the bond now that's formed between Pete and Miguel?
I would say still be careful. You can't trust anybody here, but I like it. I like that they have the bond of them being ex-Marines,
Sure.
and I feel like Pete could be somewhat trustworthy. But I just still, even with Jane Warren's, hit woman,
Right.
you just still don't know. We need more
Yeah.
backstory on that person.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we didn't get a second of
I
Rocket
just-
this episode.
yeah, and I just think it's really eerie how Miguel knows no one. So
Yeah.
it's like I just need more backstory on pretty much all the characters.
Sure.
We're still just kind of in limbo right now.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I completely agree because I'm like, it's almost too perfect. Like,
Right.
it's almost that he's so trusting, or like it worked out for him to find the bus eventually.
No, you're
So-
right. It seems like he's way too easily
Yeah,
trusted.
I
at
just
this
feel
point.
like there's something that this is kind of predictions too, but I feel like there's something going on that we're not seeing.
Sure.
There's something that's gonna connect everything, and I don't know what exactly, but
Yeah.
it just seems like this is like the calm before the storm. So
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So he's chasing down this bus. He goes out into the streets, kind of in the line of fire. Sees people being tortured with jumper cables, with
Yeah.
golf clubs. It's it's a party out there in the
Yeah.
streets. They came to party, just like the Venga Boys, guys. It all comes full circle. Now that song will be stuck in your head for 2 weeks. What else? What else happens with Miguel, with the bus? We see that there's this group of nuns, this
Yeah.
group of kind of
They were
nun
lit, literally.
purgers. Damn it, they were
That
lit.
whole, I love the fit. That's gonna be a Halloween outfit.
That was great. One of my favorite things about this whole franchise, obviously, as y'all can see, if you watch the YouTube stream, remember, if you listen to the iTunes stream, we appreciate you nonetheless. Download, comment, review, subscribe, rate, 5 stars if nasty. But if you're watching the YouTube stream, you see these nice fancy masks that we've got. That's one of my favorite parts of this franchise. Is
Yes.
it gives it this sort of hyper real kind of aesthetic, this dystopian, atmosphere. The fact that, thank you, Steve.
That always comes out of nowhere. It scares
missed
me.
me by that much. The fact that they're willing to put in it's like they're superheroes or professional wrestlers.
Yeah.
They're willing to put so much into their costume and their persona and their presentation. You know, you could probably draw comparisons to war paint, the way that they said that the Joker was using war paint in The Dark Knight. But it's a fascinating kind of corollary. Have you guys seen any masks that you've like especially kind of enjoyed?
Not yet.
Well, I kind of like the pigtails from last episode.
Oh yeah, that was on a lot of billboards out here in LA. Yeah,
that was the one that was really trending when the posters were coming out.
Sure.
Before it came out. But I definitely like that. It's very Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
But
there you go.
this is kind of like, and it's kind of not superhero-fying. Like you were kind of saying, superhero-fying. That's a new term I just coined.
There you go. You got it.
A real life situation, you know, like
Right.
it's this kind of this to me whenever I'm watching this show, I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, like this could really happen, you know.
Exactly.
But I'm constantly thinking, you know, how many people would actually participate, you know, how many people would participate, how many people would hide. And so this is why the Purge series, I am such a fan of the Purge series, because it's not supernatural. This is something that is so grounded and freaky to me, because I think the scariest monster can potentially be humans.
Of course. And I think to that point, another part of the story is that Miguel and Penelope's parents are visited by this government agent who wants them to, you know, he's giving them this money to basically be in Staten Island during the first purge, which is what makes them OMFs. But, you know, he tells them just stay inside, everything will be fine, just stay locked up until the siren. And then all of a sudden, these guys who are pretty obviously government, you know, either mercenaries or employees, they come barging in, and we know what happens, you know, which speaks to a lot of what we saw in the first purge, the fact that people didn't really necessarily want to purge, that this was all about, you know, just their idea of social Darwinism and offing the lower class, you know?
Yeah.
So because we hear their fathers say when they show up that, you know, oh, that guy lied to us, you know? What did you guys think of that kind of whole element?
It's really, it's also, I kind of like paused because I'm just like, I'm Hispanic. So like to see like them targeting like a Hispanic family really hurts. But like I can see like why they would do it, because, you know, they could view a Hispanic family as lower class, unfortunately. Like that's the stereotype, I think. And it's a mild sense of realism for me growing up Hispanic. And so like when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this hits home, like personally, you know.
I could see that. And you know, there were just things that I just wish were a little bit differently. Like with the father, you literally just went out there with the bat. You didn't think of anything else. You know, you're moving your entire family, and you didn't think of any plan A, plan B, plan C. You know, I just kind of wish that things had gone a little bit differently. So I liked the flashback. It kind of happened out of nowhere, which I know most flashbacks do. But the placement of it, I wasn't expecting it to come at that time.
It was a little jarring. Yeah.
You know, which it almost kind of confused it a little bit more, because I'm like, so then why are things the way they are now? We're just kind of making assumptions, but it's like I need more concrete evidence.
I think it's like I need we basically know what happened to their parents, but I'm really looking forward to the flashbacks of like everything in between that to what led up to the purge, because I want to know how they got separated, Penelope and Miguel.
Because like it's not bad, but I feel like I need a little bit more, a little bit quicker. You know, it's almost like it's taking too long to describe to me what happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like you said, it all happens so fast, you know, like they break into the house, and probably if we're talking real time, within maybe 5 minutes, both parents are dead, you know, and especially the mom right in front of them as they're looking through the closet door.
You know what? See, this is just where we kind of just predict and make guesses, but I feel like maybe it's something that was so traumatizing that they put in the back of their head. At least maybe Penelope did that, since it happened at such a young age for her. And maybe Miguel was so upset that he kind of isolated himself anyway.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's why he joined the Marines, the military, because he wanted to learn how to protect himself
and have a new family.
Yeah, in this the world of the Purge.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
What can happen.
And we know, Tavis is such a charismatic cult leader that maybe she got into Penelope's head, kind of molded those memories, like made her remember it differently, you know?
Yeah.
And called her a sister.
Yeah,
So now
exactly.
Because
that's
that
like
was
her
the family that she didn't have.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah, we're your family now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when Miguel when he finally finds the bus, you know, and he's just a little too late, that's what Tavis says. We're all your sisters. You know?
Like shut the
Liar.
That was funny.
We'll get to the back half of the episode in just a second, but AfterBuzzers, our network, produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. Now, that's everything from dramas to reality TV to sci-fi and so much more. There's absolutely no network that works harder than we do to serve television fans, but we need your help. See, we're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. Now, by doing so, YouTube is going to suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and by doing that, you're going to help AfterBuzz continue to grow as it's been doing. And hey, if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be. It's 2018, bad boy. Just click those off. Those are optional. So hit that subscribe button one time right now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels while you're at it. Let us know you did so in the comments and we'll thank you on air. But for now, thank you for being the best fans and helping us be the ESPN of TV Talk.
Yeah.
All right. We got
Subscribe.
Now we talked about these intersecting arcs a little bit, and that kind of happens with our other two plot lines. So first, let's talk about Jane Barber. Let's talk about how they finally closed the deal in Japan, you know, which is what they've been working towards. We see her keep repeatedly checking her phone, checking the status of Braca, whoever she's hunting, you know. And we're getting closer, I think, to knowing that she's hunting David, because David calls in and he's a little bit pissed that he didn't know that the Japan deal closed. What do you guys think so far?
That was strategic. You think?
Yeah, definitely. I just thought he was really over dramatic. That's why I feel like he's up to something.
Right, because when someone knocked on his door in the background, you saw Jane's eyes kind of widen a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I just wonder. It was not the pizza man.
No, but he was excited. He seemed okay.
Yeah.
So it's like I think he's watching them.
Did you? Do you remember where you said he was? Where is he? Is he in like in a penthouse suite? Like is he?
I'm not sure.
I just wonder where he's located.
He's nearby.
And
for
if that is Braca's target, I wonder how she's gonna. If he's in like a suite or something like protected, I wonder how she's gonna get to him. You know, if that is who she's going after.
Maybe somehow they're able to track where
David is.
I was going to say Rick. Maybe they're going to be able to track where David is. And so that's how, because something with the satellite, because they're able to
since
connect.
he's sort of like FaceTiming or
IP
Skyping
address. It could be something. It could be something that this hit woman knows.
Yeah.
In order to get in contact with him. So I think there's that. But also I do think there's cameras. This is a huge company, huge building. There's surveillance cameras everywhere. There's security.
Right.
He's gonna have an inside man.
Exactly.
You know, it's just Yeah,
it's not impossible to think that in this dystopian future, there's a bit more of a Big Brother presence with cameras everywhere, you know, than we have right now. So we get a little bit more of a crossover, as David mentions. He skipped the Stanton party, which we saw Rick and Jenna at, in order to kind of monitor this Japan deal, which is why he's so pissed. He wanted to go to that party, and we know he definitely wanted to purge there, or we have a good feeling that he did.
I don't trust him at all.
No.
Because he can get away with anything at that party. We're going to find out, I'm sure.
Right.
But one thing about Jane that I like is that I feel like she is, like, despite her temperament, because it's a right to purge and everything, I do think that she is a really, I really like her character because she does give credit where credit is due. She's like, no, they're like, oh, thank you so much, Jane, for when they closed the deal. But no, she was like, everyone worked on this. Like, we all get the credit. Like, everyone should celebrate and be happy with the amount of work that they put in. So, but I am a little afraid of what her like next move is going to be.
Of course.
And if she is purging David, like, I'm like, who the heck are you after?
Right. And I love that little bait and switch that they did where it's so tense, it's so silent. You hear someone pop in that bottle.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what they thought it was.
We all jumped up like, wait, what happened? I had no clue what to expect.
Right.
But
so in the ensuing celebration, we see that Allison gets a little bit overzealous. goes ahead and takes a pair of scissors and purges Mark.
Yeah.
Why was alcohol even included?
She got that liquid courage.
People want to get turned on Purge Night.
Oh my gosh, because that was a different floor they were on too, right? Was that what happened?
I think. Was it?
Was Mark the guy? I think so. Because then she left. I remember when she left, the guards were telling her like, if you leave the floor.
Oh, right.
So Allison left too, and I wonder. So was Mark the guy that she went out with?
I think so.
Something.
Because remember the security? She was when Barber went up to the security and they said, we couldn't stop them. So what I'm thinking is they were getting a little cozy once the drinks hit, and they went up to another room, and I think it was the guy that she went on a date with. But remember, he had blew her off on the date, so she still wanted the revenge. Because if you look, he had like some orange lipstick on his mouth. Yeah. So if you didn't know that they were actually dating, or that they had something, you would be like, he's just random. Then I was like, oh, maybe it's like a poisonous lipstick, and I'm like, Jaimi, no. They made out. She went a little crazy and started going ham with the scissors.
Oh boy.
So yeah.
There you go. Just like that.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, that was rough.
That was
rough.
crazy. And I think that, to me, I feel like Jane's going to see that and she's like, oh, now I want to purge.
Yeah, right. It's contagious.
She got to do it. Now I want to do it.
Exactly. That's why they locked that floor down, because they knew it. All it takes is one. Once you pop, you can't stop. You know?
Like
I do have to say, I had to chuckle though when she's like, "Oh, so about my promotion after." I was like, "That's pretty funny."
Do you call HR, or is that on me? That was a good line.
She literally does not care. That was a great line.
That line was good. So we like we said, we know that David mentioned that party. So let's go to that party. We start out the episode with that kiss between Lila and Jenna from last episode. Jenna then proceeds to tell Lila that she is pregnant. And so like, we've got more of the same inkling that we got last week. That obviously Lila's very fond of Jenna, not so much of Rick. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, we get more of that kind of that business deal that they're after.
Yeah.
You know, she's on the creative side, Rick's on the business side. He's trying to get a $75 million investment from Mr. Stanton in what basically boils down to like the Shark Tank segment of the episode.
Yeah.
He's looking for $75 million and then Mr. Stanton wants 50% equity, and they keep kind of negotiating back and forth, you know? Eventually they come upon a deal. And to celebrate, of course, rich white dude wants to purge the guy that worked for him for 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
What'd you guys think of all that?
I saw it coming. But I really thought that the deal was only going to go through if Rick purged the guy.
Sure.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I was like really surprised when he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And then he shot him. And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, the guy still died."
Yeah.
But I think the dynamic is so interesting because even though that Rick is the business one, I still feel that like Jenna is still kind of like the brains in their dynamic.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
even Stanton, he wanted Jenna to be there.
Yeah, he basically refused to do it if she wasn't there.
Which says something.
And it's I just feel for Jenna because there is that question of like, do we want this blood money? You know,
right.
But then Rick makes the point. He's like, well, we can change our life. We can't change the purge, but we can change our lives with this.
That line, that line is powerful.
And like, it's like you're still using this. It's blood money, I know, but it's like you're gonna change the less fortunate, like their lives.
Sure.
You know? So it's just It's like, we're damned if I do, damned if we don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and what's being conveyed is that Mr. Stanton doesn't know about Lila's involvement with Jenna and Rick. Do we think that he actually might?
I think he might have an idea. It's too many connections going on. First, him handing off the gun to Rick. I mean, why? And so even though Jenna was getting mad at him for even taking the gun, what was he gonna do? Now I wish that he had held on to the gun, and not to get violent, but I'm like, you could have shot,
make it look like a suicide.
I don't understand something.
Oh my God.
Shoot both of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
But when he gave it back, I was scared that both of them were gonna get shot. That Rick and Jenna were gonna get shot. So
yeah, definitely. So we also saw a little stinger at the end of this episode with the Purger that we saw last week. Let's actually get into more about him into predictions. Ooh. But for now, let's get into our very, very special segments. We love doing these week after week after week. Let's start with news and gossip with Miss Jaimi Gray.
All right.
Give us that tea.
You ready, guys? Okay.
Spill that tea.
The tea is hot. So, so I want to get into an article. A lot of people are buzzing about the Purge, not just us. So Paste, they have an article where they said, you know what, it's fine. It won't kill you to check out the Purge. So if you're checking out this after show, I'm sure you also agree. It's a pretty good show. I think this episode for sure has kind of upped the ante a little bit, and it's getting a little bit better. So let's go into our next photo. Let's get into the cast. So I told you that I'm keeping my eye out for Catalina.
Of course.
She is played by Paulina Galvez. And of course, you see her sitting here pretty while on set. So I think it's cool to kind of see them outside of the TV screen and kind of more behind the scenes. So thanks for social media. So next photo. So Collider. So Fiona Dourif, she is on The Purge, and she, of course, plays the cult leader Tavis. And she does a damn good job at it. So she had an interview with Collider, and she said a couple things. The next photo shows where they ask her, how would good leader Tavis describe what she's doing? And in the clip that's up right now, or that you just saw, it shows them on social media where she had posted them on the bus. So you got to see
hilarious.
them there. But into the article, they're asking her, of course, how would Tavis describe what she's doing? And Dourif said that she's helping the faithful join eternal love. I don't think it's dying for her. It's a funny exercise because she doesn't believe in anything. So as a human faith, the only way to get inside was to believe it. So that's how she kind of had to delve into her character by pretty much believing in this faith that this killing of people is not actually dying. So it's almost like a surrealism for Tavis, the character, the cult leader. Okay, so we already saw the picture of the bus, so now we'll get into our tweets. We like when people, of course, are tweeting on social media.
There we go.
Don't forget to tweet us. You can also tweet ABTV Purge.
There you go.
Again, ABTV Purge. Or, of course, you'll see us tweeting, so you can always tweet us personally. So let's get into some funny tweets. FV Tillity says, LOL. First, it was axes, and now it's death by golf clubs. I'm screaming. How are the blue called death determined? Do they spin a wheel? The Purge. So I think that's hilarious and a great question because, like, how do they have like an agenda? Like,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
so next up it's gonna be golf balls. You know, the next it's gonna be, I don't know, knives. It's just I'm wondering how they do this. So let us know what you think. Keep the conversation going and comment in the live chat in the comments. That's News and Gossip.
There you go. I love it. Let's follow right up along. Let's not waste a single second. Let's take it over to Ollie Drennan with your weekly Purge survival tips.
Yes, guys, welcome to the survival guide. For
We
the
gotta
Purge.
get a theme song
We
before
do.
you go.
We do.
I feel like we need to.
We
But
keep saying that. We gotta do it.
Steve in the booth.
Let's
you
do it.
Hear this? All right.
Let's get it.
So this week topic for the survival guide and tips is equipment. And equipment is so important on the Purge Night. Wherever you are, you want like a little starter pack. So I recommend a starter pack for you guys, and I have some items to share with you guys.
Ooh.
There we go.
First and foremost, you're gonna want some snacks on the Purge Night.
Yes.
I have hot Cheetos because personally they keep you awake. You know, you
Yeah.
got that spice, you want to be alert,
Sure.
and they're delicious. Next,
They might hear the crunch and be like, someone's behind the closet.
That might give you away. You gotta get the soft one.
I see Justin.
You gotta get the soft.
good point. Be careful.
You can't touch anything. Lick your fingers first.
You'll leave. You're gonna want your standard first aid kit, okay,
Yes.
guys? This is important. I cut myself recently, and you know I'm gonna cut myself so much probably on
Right?
Purge, running from crazies.
Yeah,
all right?
when medical services are suspended, you gotta do your own first aid.
Absolutely. Number 3, a hydro flask. I definitely recommend this bad boy. Fill up with water, maybe alcohol. It depends on what you're feeling
Yeah.
that night. And it's also a damn good weapon. You could kill someone with this.
Yeah.
Just defend. Maybe not kill yourself. Defend yourself.
There you go.
Pink and perky. I like it.
Definitely.
Especially maybe if what's inside is frozen.
Oh.
You could put acid in it.
Add a
Oh
little-
my gosh. Whoa, that might break.
You can do that. You can do
Oh, yeah,
that.
maybe you can.
That may be a grade 4 weapon. Who knows?
And last,
Squirt it in people.
last but not least, you're gonna want some wet wipes. Whether you're going to the bathroom, you know, you might be outside, or if you're just sweating, you got some blood on you, you know, put that in your first aid kit. And yeah, what would you guys bring on Purge
boy.
Night?
Honestly, these are great tips, Ollie. I would bring every single thing.
Yes.
I may not bring the whole first aid kit, but then again, you could because you could just throw it at them once you put your Band-Aid on.
Oh,
throw it at them, squirt the
totally.
acid, eat a Cheeto on your way out.
There you go.
She's got a setup. I
yeah,
love it. I
just
love it.
watch out.
Ty,
Exactly.
what's your like number one item for your equipment?
Number 1 item, man.
There's a flashlight. hit someone with it.
You know what? I'm thinking a crowbar because it's multifunctional. You know, you could use it as a weapon, or you could use it, to pry something open, to maybe lock a door if it's got those kind of those handles.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, you guys are good.
I'm adding that to my starter pack, guys.
If you've got an efficient way to carry that.
Yeah. You guys,
because you got to think about weight distribution. Also.
Yeah, let us know your tips and tricks. We can shout you out on the show. What would you put in your starter pack? We want to know. Tweet us, DM us, leave it in the comments, and we'll shout you out when you do.
Absolutely. Now, finally, before we wrap up this week, of course, we've got to talk our predictions.
Yes.
Let's get into some predictions.
Go.
And now, your Afterbuzz TV.
Excited to hear y'all.
See, we got the full-length ones. Okay, so let's get into this teaser that we saw. We saw that the Purger from last week is actually looks to be a vigilante.
Yeah.
He's at that house that he's targeting. He's kind of repeating that Purge rhetoric to himself. That when he goes in, he takes that shotgun and he blasts the Purgers and saves the woman.
Yeah.
What do we think? Now that I saw in the opening credits that Lee Tergesen, if y'all ever watched Weird Science, which was also on the USA Network back in the day, not the movie, the TV show, or Oz, he was also in Oz. I think he was also in the Wayne's World films. Anyway, Lee Tergesen, you can look up his filmography on IMDb. I believe that is who was playing this Purger. So I think my theory of it being David Riker is out the window, but we've got this new kind of vigilante character to think about. What do you guys think?
Yeah, because the whole time I was like, have we seen him before?
Right.
Exactly who is this person?
Yeah, this guy's
we
brand
were
new.
thinking it was David for the longest time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But clearly that's not it. So it's like, who on earth could it be? So I think you're good on that one. With Lila, Jenna, and Rick. At first I was thinking Jenna wants to kill Rick, but I think it might be where Lila tries to kill Rick. Jenna sees it. She feels guilty, and they both try to purge each other. And David is still out to get Jane, yes, he's still out to get her because I can just sense it. He says, "I'm going to see you tomorrow." So, like, what do you mean by that?
That's ominous. Yeah, that's ominous as hell.
He means something by that. So, and also Catalina, my eye's out for her. Yeah.
Ollie, what do you think?
Okay, well, that guy, I'm starting to think he might be good. I would like him to be
Yeah.
help Miguel, help Penelope, save them. But I'm wondering if he's actually bad. Hear me out. He's like protecting these people who might be bad. Like maybe that lady is some kind of like a benefactor of like the NFAA?
The NFFA?
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe he's protecting these bad people. Maybe that's an
Interesting.
a theory.
Okay.
Or I would like to think he's good though.
So
Yeah.
maybe
Making it look
in
like
that
he's good.
theory, the Purgers that he killed, those were the vigilantes, and he's killing
Maybe.
them to save the bad people.
It's a theory.
That's a whole lot of
Here's
layers.
the theory.
That's
I
what-
love it.
I think that possibly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where Jane's going crazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm wondering. I think Lila and Jenna might actually like rekindle something.
Interesting.
And I
okay.
think I think that Jenna's kind of only with Rick. She loves Rick, but I think she's mostly with him because she's pregnant. So I'm wondering if, and he's the businessman. So I'm wondering if
Sure.
maybe that's the only reason that they're together. But she
Right.
seems like she has this really strong connection with Lila.
Oh,
whether
boy.
that's whether Lila's actually good or bad,
Right.
we'll see what happens.
I don't know. I think to that point, I think Jenna is 100% killing Lila before the end of the season.
Oh,
I
okay.
absolutely think that's happening.
Someone's gonna die.
I think Jenna I think Lila is going to kind of go after Jenna and want to kind of, like rekindle what they used to have. I think she's going to go after Rick to get him out of the picture. And Jenna, her hand is going to be forced by the end of the season. That's what I think is going to happen.
All right.
Guys, that's it for us for this week. The show will be back next week, same time, same channel. I sadly will not be here, but I'll be back in 2 weeks. Same bad time, same bad channel, talking. By that time, it'll be episode 5 of The Purge. We'll be halfway done with the season. But guys, until then, where can they find you?
Hey guys, I'm Ollie Drennan. Find me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
Hey guys, Jaimi Gray. You can find me on Twitter at It's Jaimi Gray or IG at Jaimi Gray.
There you go. You can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. Saturdays, 4 p.m. Check your local listings. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Or Wednesday nights on the Lucha Underground After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. That's 9 p.m. on Wednesdays. Like I said, the show will be back next Tuesday night talking episode 4 of The Purge. But until then, stay safe.
Stay safe.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to Afterbuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterbuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.